they have a passion about it, but they just, surround themselves with the wrong people, and it just
Right.
dies, right? So,
Bro, that's powerful. And real quick, I know we're gonna get this thing started. With all the things that have happened in my life, man, from almost dying, almost having my hand cut off, doctor saying I never play football again, to actually go play pro ball and do so many more things. It's possible, man. It is possible. If you really want that house, on the golf course, bro, if you really want that stuff, bro, you can honestly have it, bro. It is like so much closer than it really appears, bro. Like, I can't stress it enough. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible, man. You just got to continue taking the right action, connecting with the right people. There you go. Open up your door and hit my big ass truck. Why not? Man, you just want to slap some people sometime. Like, you see this big old truck coming, you're gonna have this busted beater, and you're just gonna slam the door wide open. Like, come on, bro. Think about it for a second. But anyways, it's possible. The possibilities of life are endless.
100%, man. I believe.
Amen. That's the start.
Let's go back.
All right, we're good. So, anyways, you guys, I appreciate you guys being here. I mean, this is a weekend thing. This is something that I just wanted to kind of host to get back in contact with you guys. It's been about 3 weeks since I've been able to get on one, and really there is no excuse other than the fact that I'm just don't want to sit in a cafe, spitting fire where all a bunch of people stare at me. I haven't had internet, so I just moved here. I got internet actually yesterday. And I'm pumped about it. I'm pumped about being in a new place, new opportunity. I'm honestly thinking about getting a part-time gig at a digital marketing agency, so I can learn from people that are running, accounts with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of advertising budget. And that's something that I want to be able to do for myself very in the near future. But it's a lot harder when you're not working with real numbers, like real numbers. And that's something that if I could do that, then I'll be able to teach you guys what I'm doing. Be able to teach you guys how to actually create legitimate campaigns. Like, I know how to do marketing. I know how to do a little bit of this and that, but I'm still learning like you guys. So that's something that I'm really going to work on while I'm here. Get around some people, very, very influential people, some, people that are running some companies like that. But beyond that, I just wanted to connect with you guys, and I'm excited that you guys were actually able to be here. I still want to hold Tuesdays or Thursdays. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe Thursdays, but Tuesdays are always cool. We're going to do one per week call-wise, and I don't know, what works for you guys?
I think Nick said we were going to do Tuesdays for our 1 weeks. So,
okay.
That's, I think, what we were all planning on.
Tuesdays work for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like,
solid.
Yeah, at the same time, right? That way you normally do it?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I would hope so.
Okay.
So that works for everyone. I think 9 o'clock Eastern time is just late enough for people to actually be able to hop on.
Oh man, I got a hockey game though.
Do you actually?
No.
I'd be like, well, no, but I could see it, dude. People have sports that go into like 10 o'clock sometimes, especially like ice sports, especially Canadians.
Because it's so awesome here.
So Jesse, really quick, how have you been with the whole pregnancy and everything? Are you when are you due?
I'm due in less than a month.
That's
so,
nuts.
Feeling rough. I feel like my whole body's being weighed down by like weights. Have you ever done the training where like you have the weighted sleigh in the back and you run?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how my whole body feels all the time.
But like 24/7?
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Ugh.
even sitting here is really uncomfortable just because my body feels so heavy. But she's almost here, so only a little bit more to go, and I'm good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is really crazy. I never thought it would feel like this. It's pretty weird.
Yeah,
And,
I was
like,
only pregnant once, so I mean, I totally feel what you're saying.
Yeah, they also don't tell you that you'll turn into like Bob the truck driver when you're pregnant either. Like, no, seriously, the burping and and if you sneeze, you'll pee yourself.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I'm serious. Like, I tell Andy, my husband, I need an adult diaper or something because I sneeze and I pee. You can't.
I've heard that like it all goes downhill after that too. Like
Yeah.
it's not like you
You
can.
can't hold it in. There's a baby literally sitting on top of your bladder.
Yeah.
Oh, especially if you get kicked in the bladder, you'll still pee. So it's definitely not as beautiful as the memes make it seem, but it's still fun, I guess.
That's hilarious.
Peeing yourself is still not fun, though.
So
It's all about that little creature that
You know-
comes out, right? That at the end of the
Right. It's
day.
all worth
gonna-
it. I just
I'm
have
gonna
to
check my
last
channel
week.
right after this, and I'm not even kidding. Like, people are gonna unsubscribe because they're gonna be like, last time I watched a video on Paul's channel, we were talking about sneezing and peeing ourselves.
Well,
It's
they can
real,
be
man.
pregnant and then tell me that they can hold it. So,
Yeah,
Sucks for them.
yeah.
that's hilarious. So, really quick, you guys, does anyone have anything that they've been, wanting to work on this year in terms of the online game? We're talking, even network marketing. I think I know enough about that. I think, Junior probably knows more than I do. But the reality is anyone what do you guys want to work on this year in terms of the online game? Are you guys trying to build a legitimate following through a blog, or is it maybe video? What are the goals here?
I think I'm still trying to figure that out. I haven't I don't know. We went through our whole December content challenge and everything, and I was pretty consistent. I missed a few days on that and everything, but I feel like people when they think content, they think blog. And Paul, you kind of pointed out I would just say maybe two times a week, 2 blog posts a week. Don't go crazy because I feel like I was stressing out about
Yeah.
oh my god, my blogs, and I'm kind of the person that gets kind of deep into my content, and people are like, well, I kind of have ADD, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. So that was another thing where I feel like they were getting too long, at a point. So I feel like, I don't know, blogs aren't my strongest suit, I guess. And right now, I think I'm having issues with the sales funnel part. I don't know exactly when or why I need to create a sales funnel, or if I don't know. I think that's my biggest challenge right now.
A sales funnel based on the content you've created from that point on moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I don't know. Are you creating a different sales funnel for I guess I don't even know. I guess I should probably just delve into the training more on sales funnels exactly.
Okay.
I only have 2 videos that I've really done and created 2 funnels for.
Okay.
But I feel do you have a lot of different funnels for different topics or different videos, or I just really don't know how that comes about.
So really quick question for all of you guys, and then I'm gonna try to help you to walk you through this and understand it. And if you guys have a notepad, pen, take some notes, because this is really gonna help in terms of sales funnels and why and when you actually need to use one. And if anything, I'm gonna even draw it out right here. So let me grab a piece of paper and a pen, and then I'll explain when would be the best time to create one.
Okay, I gotta get one too then.
Cool. So, the reality is sales funnel is only ever there to help you to generate a lead or a sale. And most of you guys, for all of you that are, listening, does everyone know in its basis form what a sales funnel is? Or is someone still kind of confused on that?
My sister, well, you probably don't do a link to go.
At its base form, there, Paul.
Yeah.
Just have them explain it really quick about
Okay. I'll explain it really quick, and I don't even know if I could put it into words so much as I could show you, and I think that would help more. But basically, a sales funnel is a series of processes that's going to take, and here's the thing, we're talking mostly cold traffic. Okay, when you have warm and hot traffic, there's 3 types of traffic: cold, warm, hot. Okay, you're basically taking a form of traffic and making them more and more aware and getting them closer and closer to a sale, or in a lot of cases, becoming a lead. right? So this is a process. It's less of like, you know, here's how I visualize it, and it's more of a process. But it's the process that you take them through that allows for you to get someone closer to a sale. So you have to understand that, you know, with most people, the reason they don't buy your stuff is simply because they don't either know about it, or if they do know about it, they don't see enough value in it, and if they do see value in it, they don't see enough value in joining you or buying from you. Okay? So the sales funnel in and of itself is only there to ever help someone get closer to the sale. That's all it is. Okay? Now, if we're talking a sales funnel that you're running cold traffic through, well, here's the reality. Your goal is not to get the sale right away. It's simply to get a lead. Because if you can get a lead, then that allows for you to follow up with them and follow up with them and follow up with them. What's up, Catherine? And at that point in time, you know, they should become warm or hot traffic. Then you can build a sales funnel specifically for that group to sell what you want to sell. So here's the reality, you guys. When you're creating content, and this is what, you know, Kelly's, you know, whole dilemma here is when and how do I build a sales funnel? And it's not, you know, difficult as long as you understand what you're selling. See, once you understand what you're selling, you understand what you want to talk about in your content. Your content should always point back to that sales funnel. So the reality is you never really need to have more than like 2 or 3 sales funnels, ever. Unless you're selling a bunch of different things, which in that case you should honestly have a team of people doing that for you, creating, you know, different sales funnels for different, you know, offers, and this is where you're starting to get into. But you know, realistically, you should be able to make at least $6 to $7 grand per month, just with, you know, 2 to 3 sales funnels. Like that's the goal here. So whatever you're trying to sell, for instance, I mean, with MLSP, that's what 70 sales tops to make $7 grand a month. And 70 sales, you can make that as long as you drive 1,000 people through a sales funnel. Realistically. Yeah. 1,000 people. Can you drive 1,000 people? I mean, you could probably pay for those people, and the more you pay, the higher quality prospect they are. That's just how it is with, you know, any paid form of advertising. But that's the fastest way to get traffic and drive people through a sales funnel, right? So there's 2 ways to, you know, you could either do free or paid. I always recommend free in the beginning so you kind of get your base, you understand what you're doing. But once you guys actually begin to get serious, you're going to start to pay for traffic, you know? And that could be Facebook, that could be Google, that could be anything. So long story short, the sales funnel, you should only ever have 2 to 3 tops. And the way this is going to work for most of you guys is focus on one product you want to sell. What do you want to sell? Okay? What do you want to sell? And then brainstorm from that point on. Let's say, you know, as an example, I'll just use MLSP. MLSP is really cool because you can take MLSP as the platform and sell it to any network marketer. So if you want to sell anything to a network marketer, what do you do? What do you do when you're creating content? You speak to a network marketer. Now, if we get a little bit more specific, who am I speaking to, right? Well, you can get more and more specific. You know, I've already given you guys the example of Bob, and I talked about how Frank Kern, if you never heard this story, I forget what call I did it on. I'll kind of do a recap. He talks about how, you know, before I sell anything or any product, what do? Well, I actually create a very real person that as the perfect prospect, the perfect target market. All right, so I call this guy Bob. He's about, you know, like 50 years old. He's a middle-aged man. He drives a red blank, certain type of car. He wears khakis, but on the weekends he likes to hang out with his family. He describes this person in a very real way. So real, in fact, that when he was at an event one time, he gave the example. And then this guy named Bob was basically the exact same person as he described, came up and said, "Oh my God, I cannot believe you actually described me and I bought your product because this was exactly what it was for. You know, I sell insurance. I'm in my, you know, 50s. The only difference was my kids don't drive me mad." And so now let's talk about a network marketer. Who's the network marketer that you can most relate with? And if not most relate, who can you help the most? Who's been through the same troubles you have? And here's what's cool about network marketers and network marketing as a whole. Everyone's gone through the same bullshit. Every single one of us has gotten rejected, right? Has had someone tell you this is a scheme you should run as fast as way you can, get a refund. You got scammed, right? Everyone's had all the relatives, you know, that either started or didn't start but quit. And then, you know, so we all go through the same things, which is why Eric Worre's book did so well. Because it's funny, I was talking to Robert Hollis that one time, and he was telling me, he's like, here's the thing. Eric Worre's book is the simplest book I've ever read in the network marketing space. But because it was so simple and because it related with network marketing industry as a whole, it just blew up. It helped everyone because everyone goes through the same crap over and over and over again. But he simplified it to the point where everyone was like, oh my God, I just had a revelation. Eric Worre is the guy that helped me. So it's the same thing with every network marketer. So if you're trying to sell something to a network marketer, MLSP, you come up with a list or a series of content you want to put out there and create, okay? And obviously, you want to create that sales funnel first. So here's what we've got now. Kelly, this is the question, right? Or this is kind of what you're struggling with. So I want, this is good training for all of you guys. Come up with a sales funnel, but during that content creation, you can always kind of change the sales funnel, tweak it a little bit, change the capture page. The reality is the whole goal here is to generate a lead based on the content you've created to sell MLSP. So here's what I'm trying to tell you. I want to sell the MLSP Mastery membership trial, $10, not hard. And I've been away from the internet long enough. I haven't watched any of the new things going on with MLSP, so I need to get up with that this week, this weekend actually. But let's just say you're trying to sell the $10 trial to, after 10 days they get started on the $150 Mastery membership. You just made $100. Well, if you're trying to sell that, create a sales funnel for it. How do you create a sales funnel for it? Pretty simple. I mean, I'm going to give you the simplest form. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to draw it right here. Then I'm going to show you guys, and I hope you guys can see it. Okay? So, right now. Traffic. Okay. Page 2. So here's the thing, you guys. This is what a sales funnel should look like. It's pretty simple. Okay, as you can see right there, traffic to a capture page. Traffic can be in the form of social media. Traffic can be in the form of paid. Traffic can be in the form of, I posted one blog post and I had so many eyes see this stuff. And once you understand, you can actually start to track your numbers, which is really cool. So what I do with my website is I put a cookie on there, and you can look this up. It's pretty simple. If you just go to the MLSP back office, from that point on, God, I forget the name of the training. It's a traffic training, and he talks about pixels. So if you just go to the pixel training in the traffic training, I think the tab, I can't think off the top of my head where exactly it's at. Long story short, you'll be able to find it. It's pixel training. Okay, he talks about adding a pixel to your website. So if you don't have a website yet, you don't have a content blog or anything like that, don't worry about this just yet. But if you already have a blog, which most of you guys do, okay, you can add a pixel, which is really, really cool because when you add this Facebook pixel, anyone that ever basically clicks on your link on your website and actually sees a post is going to be added to this entire target market, this group of people who have actually viewed your content. So technically, now you kind of understand your numbers. You're like, wow, okay, I didn't know that, but I actually had like 40 people open that one post alone. They've been to my website before. And these people are going to be a little bit more warm than your cold market. Really, really cool stuff. So you can look that up, okay? But traffic can come in many, many forms. From that point on, your goal with this traffic is to send them to a capture page. Now, it's a little direct to straight up be like, here's a link to my capture page, traffic. Like, here is a link. Like, one of mine is thefreedomformula.org. That's a capture page. But the reality is I don't just send random people there. The only time I do is on Instagram. Because Instagram, I'm looking for straight up numbers, traffic. And here's my pitch. Basically, if you're looking to do blank, blank, come to this website. And then there's a little link there. They click on it, it's a capture page. They get something or access to something on the other side. Well, when you're posting content like a blog post, Kelly, it's a little bit more different. So you always have to format and work backwards from the point of you creating the content. If I'm going to create a piece of content that's basically like my next piece of content, don't steal it, you guys. my next piece of content is basically going to be a guide to Facebook, and I have the name written down somewhere. Basically, a guide to help you to build a following on Facebook, like a legitimate following. I'm not talking about a group page. I'm talking about real likes, real comments, real shares on whatever you post on Facebook. Okay, how often you should be posting, all of that stuff. Long story short, I'm going to create that piece of content. But on the back end, I'm thinking of how can I use this content to actually sell MLSP? Because most people create content, but they don't create content on purpose. So a good example of this would be Rob 4. This guy, he's an SEO expert, and you guys know of him now. If you don't, watch some of his stuff. It's really, really good. Rob 4 always talks about posting on purpose because what he can do is nuts. What he can do is basically take an entire niche. Let's say I want to start selling, alkaline water from Kangen machines. Quite a few of my friends out here in Portland sell that stuff, and I was just hanging out with them. And I was thinking, I was like, if I wanted to sell Kangen water online, and I'm Rob 4, I go through about 10 to 15 days worth of nonstop research, and this is what he does. You don't have to do this, but this is an example, of research when I'm creating a blog. Okay, I'm gonna go get a blog that has Kangen in the URL. Okay, Kangen HQ or Kangen blank or Kangen this. As long as I'm trying to get people to look at that and traffic to that, and that's just for SEO purposes. Don't worry about the SEO. But then he goes on to plan every single. He looks at what he has to sell. He looks at his selling offers. Okay, so I have this product to sell, this product to sell, this product to sell. So you notice he's working backwards because he wants to sell these products. Then he says, okay, perfect. Now what keywords could I rank for? And these are going to be the titles of his blog subject or that blog post subject. Basically it. Like, is Kangen water really healthy? That's going to be something I promise you is being searched on Google. Is Kangen water alkaline? Can Kangen water cure cancer? All of these things are actually looked up online. And so he understands, okay, these are keywords. So now he's got a content plan. I've got all of these keywords, and I'm just trying to sell this one machine here for $5,000. So he's working backwards. Here's my company. Here's my offer. Here are the keywords that are related to that offer. And he'll have a 90-day game plan set up from day one, a 90-day game plan of all the content that he's going to create in between. So all he does then, once he's got all the keywords set up, he understands he's done the research, he understands that he can rank for that keyword, he lets his website age a little, and this is stuff you don't need to worry about. I'm just giving you an example. Don't kill yourself trying to learn all this stuff. He just starts to type a post a day. But every single post, at the bottom or in the middle or on the sidebar or somewhere, there's an opportunity for someone to opt in to a capture page, which is going to be basically one of his sales funnels that he set up. You only need one or two, really, in the beginning, where they can say, do you still need more information on Kangen water? Get this free report that shows you how in 30 days Kangen water can change your life, how healthy it is. And someone's going to be like, that's actually cool. They're already interested in Kangen water. So network marketers, what are network marketers interested in? They're interested in learning how to be better network marketers. They're interested in getting that next recruit. If you just did one little content plan, like we were doing earlier, but instead this time you do it a little bit more on purpose. What am I trying to sell here? Well, if you're trying to sell MLSP, you've got network marketers. If you're trying to sell it works, you have most of the nation. So you just got to understand, well, okay, most of the nation is a little bit too big. I need a little bit more targeted of a niche. Now I need, once you target that, stay-at-home mom who's been struggling to get that baby weight off. Jesse, I'm joking. I really that stay-at-home mom that's struggling to get the baby weight off, and my belly, it's never been the same. Well, here's the reality: you have that target market. So what is going to interest that person? Now, every single time you create a piece of content, you're going to try. The whole goal of this content is not for them to be like, "Wow, Kelly really knows her stuff." That's not the goal. The goal is to get her to opt in. Okay. In the meantime, she can think to herself, Kelly knows her stuff. But you don't know that. She's never going to buy from you unless she opts in. So that's the goal then. Now, each one of those pieces of content is going to point back all. So let me give another page for you, and I think I dropped that pen. Let me pick it up.
Wait, Paul, I have one question in the meantime while you're looking for your pen. So, a lot of
the goal of all of your, what's up?
I just had a real quick question before
Go
you
for
move on. Because I know, like, all these leaders, they say, like, everything is going to point into your blog, right? Everything that you're doing is going to lead back into your blog. But, I don't know, like, are you pretty active on your blog, or do you feel...
I do about once every, like, this past 3 weeks, I haven't posted anything. I do one about every 2 weeks, two every, like, 1 week, depending. This past year, all the way through October, I was pretty active on it. Pretty active.
But do you feel like that's, like, how you're getting, like, a lot of your leads are finding you through that, or do you feel, I don't know, like...
The only way you can ever know is if you track. That's the reality. Like, you never know. You could be like, because that's the hard part for most people. What they have a hard time believing what they don't see.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see people looking at your blog. You don't know whether they're actually looking. And so until you track, and that way you're going to be more easily, able to believe that it actually works. For most people, the reason, they don't believe in a God is because they don't see him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my case, and in everyone's case here, I think, we understand as network marketers who've done some personal growth that there are things that are unseen that are very powerful, and it does take faith in anything, and especially in yourself, to go achieve something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's something that's really important here to understand, that humans as a whole need to see a result or need to see numbers in order to believe. That doesn't necessarily mean that people aren't looking, but I recommend that you track. So add a pixel to your blog. In my personal experience, I've had a lot more of I've gained a lot more of a following through video. But that's only because I have a gift to speak well, and it doesn't mean that you can't develop that. I've worked on it throughout the past 3-4 years. But that's what I've noticed. I get a lot of my following. I get a lot more comments. I get a lot more engagement. But I think blog posts are even more powerful. I really do believe that, because they're more easily shareable. And I don't know. I just think blogging is something. There's something special about it. So I track it, and I actually, if I post something, I've noticed anywhere from 50 to 150 people look at that one blog post, and I actually can see that because I added a pixel to my website.
So tracking, are you saying you can do that through?
I was going to say, just grab, basically, if you go through the pixel training, you're going to be able to see that you can grab a pixel from Facebook. It's a little code when you log into this one area of Facebook. You grab the code, and you can actually take that code and add it to your website, your MLSP site. And that alone is going to show you. So when you start to log into the Facebook ad manager, you log into that, it's going to show you your numbers. Now you've had 500 real views on your website. Now you've had 600. So it'll actually show you your numbers. And this is called an audience.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. I've seen the Pixel, I think it might be like Pixel Pro or something that's in the back office.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it's called. I watched it a while ago and set this up, but I would recommend going through there. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Kind of how MLSP works. Long story short, the goal of your content, right, is number one, to drive traffic to it. Your traffic basically sends them to a sales funnel, which is the beginning stage of a capture page. That alone should help you to create a sale in your business. I mean, this is very, very base, and it's easy to understand now until you run into a problem or you're doing something, right, and you're like, hey, how come it's not working for me? The reason you think it's not working for you isn't because it didn't actually work. It's simply because you don't believe it is. And I've learned that, everyone learns that. I think, in order to be great in this industry, you simply have to have faith that every single action you take has a reaction. Every single little thing you do, someone's watching. I just got here to Portland, and so some of my friends that I've known in the network marketing space live here. You know, quite a few of them. And one of them, his name was Chris Altamirano. I didn't know this kid named Trung Tran. Trung, he's been living here his entire life. Now, Trung was telling me he knew this kid that just moved out. He was telling me he just knew this kid that moved out. And this kid that moved out from San Diego had watched one of my videos before. So in a million years, I never would have thought some random kid from San Diego would have watched one of my videos, and he did. You know, I've had people tell me, you know, well, I watched another one of your videos here. I've watched another one of them there. And the reality is, I wasn't really too confident in myself or my videos, and I didn't believe it was actually working, but it obviously was. So, you know, for every action you take in your business, for every single blog post, someone's going to see. For every single video you make, someone is going to see. And that one person is enough to become one more of your true fans that you need to become a real authority in any space, right? So that's what's important to understand here. But before I keep rambling, what's the little fella's name?
This is Julian. Say hi. Say hi, Paul.
What's up, Julian?
Say hi.
Hi.
Am I not like the whitest kid you've ever seen?
Say he's not.
I was playing pinball.
Aww. He's getting ready for bed. We just wanted to say good night.
Night, Julian.
Well, I went to always be pinball.
Okay.
Oh, he went bowling. Yeah. He just wanted to say he went bowling today.
Really?
Yeah. He calls bowling pinball, right?
It's basically a big pinball.
Yeah.
All right, say good night.
Good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Aww. What a cutie, right?
He's so.
That's what you gotta look forward to, Jesse, right there. The hyper little kids. You're not gonna
Whose child is that?
My boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's 3, just turned 3. So we have a very active household these days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So is this all
Thank
clicking?
you so much for explaining that. That definitely helped me.
Cool. And the last thing I want you guys to know. So, Tim, you don't have any questions either, do you?
No, man, I'm good, buddy.
Okay, awesome. Jesse, you good?
I took notes.
Okay, cool. So here's the thing. The last thing to mention, and this is something that you kind of need to do research on your own, learn how to do it, is list segmentation. Okay, and the reason you want to segment a list is so you can talk to 2 different crowds, at least in the beginning. You get these companies that segment everything because they need to understand, you're taking your audience through 3 different stages, right? Cold traffic, you want to turn that into warm traffic. The goal of warm traffic is to turn into hot traffic. Hot traffic is to make a sale. So those are 3 different lists, right? So if I was going to sell to people, MLSP to people, I'm probably going to have, 2 different lists, bare minimum. One for random people that just, continue to log in. And from that point on in the future, if they've ever seen any of my content, watched any more of my videos, if they have, seen more of my stuff, I'm going to segment that differently. So most people, what I started to do was, anytime I post a video on Facebook, people see that video. Now, video is extremely powerful for the purpose that it seems live and real to people. When I first started in a company called Vima, about getting close to 4 years, I started in that company. I saw this kid named Derek Alexander make video after video after video. And everyone in the company felt like he was just this celebrity. Like he was a celebrity, and that's what helped him to rise rank after rank after rank. And that's why video is so powerful. So anytime when someone watches a video, I actually segment that. I have a different link than I send people through there to actually become, to add themselves to my warm list, as opposed to random people from Instagram getting added to a list, which I would actually have a different list called a cold list. And you can name that whatever you want. But people that have watched a video of yours are much more likely to buy from you than people who are random on Instagram. You're just driving traffic to a capture page. You see what I'm saying? So those are 2 different lists, and I'm actually going to speak to them a little bit differently. I'm going to talk to the warm list like a little bit more like they're my friends. The other ones, I'm just going to continue to provide value with them until I send them the link to get on my warm list. Because if I provide enough value and they see enough of it, they're going to opt into a new list and be, you know, added to that list, and I'm actually going to be more likely to sell them something. But that's called list segmentation. So beyond all of that, you know, your goal is to drive a bunch of traffic to a piece of content. That content, within the content itself, the best way to actually get a lead is to have something within the content that has a link. So like a couple of words. Say, so if you want to learn how to do that, you can click here. Because when people are reading, it's much more active and it's much more engaging to actually click there, as opposed for them to look at the sidebar and say, want some real value, blank, then, you know, go here. Most people don't actually opt in through a sidebar. I've noticed most people opt in on a piece of content through the actual post when you type something up, say click here. So that's a really, really good way to get people to opt in. And so the goal, like I said, is to drive traffic to a piece of content, that content to a capture page, that content through a sales funnel to make a sale. And then from this point on, you're not going to make most sales with cold traffic, so that's where you segment. You start to provide value, value, value until they've actually become more familiar with you. You segment that list, send them to a new sales funnel that you create, and it's pretty simple. A cold traffic that you've been providing value to is going to become warmer. So it's actually easier to get their email again. And when you do, you know that's a targeted lead. Not only targeted, but this person is actually following up and following through and seeing your stuff, which is why I love sending people through a capture page a second time after they're already on my list, but to segment them. I've got two lists. These people are more likely to buy than these people. So, but like I said, you know, Kelly, before I make it even more confusing, pretty simple. Couple of sales funnels, tops, and all you do or figure out one offer, create a capture page. If that capture page converts at 10%, well then you know you're not doing something right. Change something up on the capture page, and only change it up bit by bit. Don't change the entire thing, because if you do that, you don't know what went wrong with that capture page. I noticed, I'm not even kidding you. So there was on one capture page that I was getting like a 14% conversion rate. And I was like, this is not that great. I want to increase the conversion rate on that capture page. You know, 14 people out of every 100. Okay, well, how do I do that? Well, I used to just go back and like, this capture page doesn't work. So I toss it, create an entirely new one, toss the exact same headline on that one just because it looked prettier. And that doesn't change a damn thing. So instead what I did was I simply changed the headline. And I changed it to be a little bit more personal, or to get, you know, allow them to see that I feel their pain a little bit more and that I have the solution on the other side. And that alone increased my conversion rate by about 20%, which was nuts. That was like the highest converting capture page I'd ever had. But that's all it takes. So, you know, bit by bit, you continue to refine that sales funnel process, and you're like, this sales funnel converts at like 30+%. I'm going to keep that around, and all I'm going to do is create content to drive traffic through that content, so they click on a capture page, click on a link in the content to go to a capture page to add themselves to my list. Again, the goal is not to be a celebrity in their mind. The goal, at least with blogging, is to get a new lead.
Well,
okay.
So are you tracking all this through our back office, or how are you tracking?
You can if you're driving traffic and you don't know exactly who they are. So you're never going to know, like, it's this person. The only way you could ever know it's this person is if they give you their email. But in terms of viewers and eyes and conversions, it will tell you when you're in the funnelizer what your conversion rate is. You have a 14% conversion rate. You have like a 20% conversion rate. You see what I'm saying? And if you're driving people through an MLSP pre-created capture page, it's also going to show you right there, you know, the numbers. Beyond that, the only way you're going to know these people and actually build a relationship with them is once they're on your list in Aweber.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So I hope that all helps.
Yeah, no, I feel like I thought in my mind, like, you had to have like all these different, like, multiple different sales funnels for so many different things. So I was just like confused, I guess, on that whole process. So
I've gone through that too, for sure. Like, I've gone through where, you know, I'm creating a piece of content. I'm like, dude, this piece of content's gold, but it didn't help me to sell anything more, because while I was creating that piece of content, I made it so good that I didn't want to change it. And because I didn't want to change it, I couldn't really sell my offer that I wanted to sell. So you always, always, always have to work backwards. Because then what I had to do was like, well, shoot, now I have to create an offer after I'd created the content. Now I have to create an offer for someone who's reading this content, who's interested in Facebook. And I'm like, shoot, I don't have a Facebook product to sell. So my point is, you always want to think about what you want to sell first and then create the content around that.
Okay. So say if we were trying to create like something like where we're trying to get people into like our primary business, and we would work backwards like and create our whole sales funnel off of that, then
what I would recommend is you create a sales funnel for your offer first, right? And how do you create a sales funnel? Well, look it up. Like, it's pretty simple. You know, the first thing, capture page. Capture page can either have a picture on it, maybe you want a short video that welcomes them, maybe you don't want anything but just a straight up headline with a timer right below. You know, that's a capture page, as long as there's somewhere to enter their email info. I like personally the double opt-in, but it depends on the market. Sometimes it's easier not to get the double opt-in. Really, double opt-in, all it is they click a button saying, yes, I want to learn how. And then another little pop-up will pop up, or it'll take them to a different page that actually has an email. That's what you call a double opt-in. But the goal is, after that opt-in, to send them through a process that allows them to become more custom with your product, right? Eric always says 4 to 6 exposures before someone buys. You can't expose anyone if they're never exposed in the beginning, or you can never get to that 4 to 6 part if you never expose them in the beginning. But that's the goal of your capture page, to take them through the process. Now, here's the product, here's the offer. Okay, and the better and the more powerful that offer gets, the more likely you are to make a sale. So Nick and I, on our capture page, you know, it says blank. It takes you to that next page that is basically an entire sales page I've built, and a video that we made telling them, you know, buy the $10 trial with MLSP. Okay, $10 trial. Now here's the thing, that's not enough for most people. 10 days for $10. Most people, they're not going to buy that. So I need to create a more powerful offer. And I've noticed that for every 10 people that I do get started, 8 stick around, 2 quit. So I'm like, well, okay, well that's cool and all. How do I make even more risk reversal? And risk reversal is something that Jay Abraham said. Here's the deal. I asked people, you know, well, do you want to make a sale? Yeah. Well, then you're going to have to make, you know, add some risk reversal. So I basically said, all right, if you're not completely stoked after 10 days, and this is in my sales video. You don't have to have this sales video. You don't have to create one. I just added a little bit more risk reversal so they're more likely to buy. If after 10 days you're not completely stoked, keep the bonuses, which Nick and I offer, you know, a $97 training that we created, along with a couple of other resources. You know, you get added to this group, you get all these other resources. Keep the bonuses. So keep all of those things, even if you're not happy. Get your refund, keep the bonuses, and you have my permission to reach into my wallet and pull out another $10. So you now, but that's my point. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to make 10 sales, 2 want a refund, 2 quit. Well, now I'm only paying out $20 for the $800 I made. That means I have a $780 profit to simply have more people join because the risk reversal is higher.
Yeah.
Right? So most people like, in 30 days, get a refund. In this economy, in this day and age, that's not enough. You need to have like more than just a refund. You need to say, hey, I'm going to take a hit for the team because I believe this product is really worth your time and you know, whatever, your money, your resources. I believe that this is the product that's going to help you to change the game for you and change your life. And so I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. I'm actually willing to give you twice the amount of what you paid for. And most people are scared to do that. And this is only $10. We're only talking $10 here. We're not talking big numbers. Most people are scared to do that. Why are they scared to do that? Because they don't believe in their product enough. But if you simply believed in it enough, then you'd understand that no one's really going to want a refund. And most people that buy from you never actually ask for it anyways, unless it's like, you know, something really, really big. So what's the point here? You can actually afford to make that offer, and you're going to get more people signing up, more people buying, right? Okay.
So real quick, let me jump out there. P, you're giving some massive value, brother. That is just absolutely dope, for sure. And talking about capture pages, one person that I definitely enjoy following is Frank Kern. He is just a monster in what it is that he does. And in reference to creating capture pages, you know, one thing that he likes to talk about is what we call pre-framing, right? Pre-framing your offers. So when you're talking about, you know, MLSP, you know, it's a different kind of pre-frame. And I know you were talking about, you know, how do you create a capture page for your primary business? I want to talk directly to that because it sounds like that's a struggle, or that's something that you want to start to work with. Now, mind you, this is the even coolest part, is I made $25,000 just doing videos, and that's to tie back into what Paul was saying, and as how powerful video marketing really is. And I didn't have no list. I wasn't driving, no traffic to no capture page. It was absolutely bonkers. And then to understand the science behind it. So tying into, the struggle, how do you create a capture page for your primary business? So let's say your primary business is, you were talking about alkaline water, okay, alkaline water. So your capture page on the front end says, find here are 3 secrets that you don't know about water that gives you cancer. Any person that is drinking water, which is everybody, is going to be, more inclined to want to put their name and information in. Like, holy shit, what do you mean? I'm drinking water and I could get cancer from it. So now they put their name and information in. Okay. Once they put their information in, you want to pre-frame them. You want to give them some value. What did they offer in for? They want to know the 3 secrets that water is doing to your body that gives you cancer. So now you give them that value that they're looking for in the first place, which builds that know, like, trust concept. So now you're giving them some of that value, the pre-framed value. While you're doing that, the next step is still not to give them a call to action so that they buy your product, because they need to get more information from you and know that you are reputable and what you are sharing is of value, right? When you build enough value within whatever it is that you're talking about, they're not going to have a problem with saying, I'll spend $5,000 on that, because you built up that value. So then again, you pre-frame and say, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the 3 secrets that nobody knows on what this water is doing for you as far as tap water and why you shouldn't drink tap water. Now it's another call to action, and now you're getting them into the process of taking action. See, the majority of the people that get involved, they get into, let me just sell my business on the front end. Your business that is your primary is a back end business, right? Your front end is you, the you ain't business, right? And you positioning yourself as the expert in your niche. There's so many niches out there. I mean, you could be talking dog training, golfing, football. Football goes into another sub niche, like athletes as in wide receivers, linemen, coaches. I mean, there's so many niches of all niches, right? So then you have these 3 secrets on the front end. The next one, you give them those 3 secrets, call to action. Click the link below to get these next 3 secrets, or the proven method that tap water, blah, blah, blah. Now they click the link. Guess what? They go into some more value. You give them another 5-10 minute training, pre-framing them again, and then give them a sell. Yeah. It's content, 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 pitch. Content, 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 pitch. That's the formula of success when selling a business.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. And that's the thing, it's something that, here's the deal. The only reason I don't train people up front right away to do all of that, which, it is a good thing to do, especially when you're talking to higher level marketers, because most people don't have the resources or don't feel like they have enough training to go and create that much content right away. You know what I mean? And so I'm talking basis sales funnel, basis sales pitch, whatever you will, at least learning how to create a sales funnel. Because the video that Nick and I created, it's a good sales video, and most people on the spot will buy it as long as they're in the warm market. The reality is most people don't have the skill set to do that unless they have the money to pay for this stuff. So, but dude, no, 100%, you're 100% right. Value, 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 then ask, right? Like exactly. I mean, it's the truest form of content you could possibly do, especially in terms of Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks about that. Jab, 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 jab. He actually wanted to name the book Jab, 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 right hook. And then like the publishing company was like, yeah, we don't want to call it that. We'll actually pay you more to just call it jab, 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 hook, right hook. So it's kind of funny, but you're 100% right, man, and that's some good stuff to know. I think at the beginning, it's good to learn how to create a sales funnel, learn how to connect everything, and then after that, you can start to refine the sales funnel, add more content, pre-frame a little bit more. I actually always, and that's the thing I didn't really mention, I failed to mention, you're right, give the content that you promised on the capture page. From that point on, go and ask for the sale. And it doesn't have to be anything too big, as with all things, the lower the price point, the more likely you are to make a sale. And once you have their wallet out the first time, it's a lot easier to have them pay more and more and more the second, third, fourth, fifth time. But that being said, I don't want this call to go too long. Is there anything else anyone wants to go through before we hop off the call? questions, feedback. Junior, thank you so much for adding that. That was bomb, dude. You know your shit, for sure.
It's all good, brother. We're here together, baby. 6 figures to the top.
Oh, yeah. So, all right, you guys, I appreciate it. You know, here's the deal. This Tuesday, this was, you know, kind of an off week, at least for me. This Tuesday at 6 my time, so 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, we're going to be having that call. I think we're going to get Nick on. Probably want to have one of you guys speaking and sharing as well. So beyond that, it'll be pretty sweet. We'll do the hangout, you know, as usual, as planned. And let's get some people on there. I think, you know, the more prospects, the more people that you get on that call, the more likely they are going to be like, what is MLSP and how can I use this system to help me build whatever I'm building, which is really, really cool for you guys. So beyond that, thanks so much for being on the call, you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let's go, baby. Breakthrough.
We'll see you, Junior. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Give me football.